make a manga book club, and the first manga that we started reading was Kingdom, which it has been amazing so far. And we're going to talk about the first two arcs. I think the first arc is chapter 1 through 47, right? And then
Something like that.
Yes, and then 60.
Yeah. And then the second arc goes to chapter 73 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, cool. So that's where we're at right now. I know in my last YouTube video, I hyped it up being just the first arc, but this is where we ended up reading to here. So here we go. So let's start out because the way Kingdom starts, I mean, everybody who's watching this probably read it or at least watched the however many episodes of the terrible anime adaptation that was.
I tried to watch the first one.
It's bad.
And I gave it hope, and I was like, no, it's bad, but I want to keep watching it.
なかなか楽しい問答でした。今日はこれで引き上げるといたしましょう。
I think I made it like 10 minutes.
I
feel
honestly
like I
did
would
not
like
even.
it as an anime.
It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's the animation they use that makes it bad. Like
Yes.
it's subbed, so it's whatever. It's the animation. It's like have y'all seen Ajin on Netflix yet?
Not yet.
No.
It's the
on the
same animation but worse. Like Ajin looks
Ooh.
good. This one just looks like a cartoon, like fluid motion. It's weird.
It's like real bad, like 3D modeling type.
Yes, it's like they
yeah.
took like an actual anime and they were like, let's make it like digital, so they can move the pieces. So they have movement. It looks cool in battle scenes, but when it's just like a close up of their face, it's horrible.
Yes, that's exactly it. But so the manga starts out really cool with like the two orphan
I didn't make
kids.
it 5 minutes. It looks like.
Nah,
Also,
so
it's obviously nothing like the actual manga. Because it has to hook you right away. It starts off completely different.
Yeah, because I mean, with like the first chapter is pretty cool with like Shin and the
dead one.
Piao,
I called him
something.
Piano. I'm pretty sure it's Piao because I called him Piano.
Yeah. Because I thought it was cool how much battle experience they get just from training every day.
Yeah,
that's true.
I did too.
I mean, yeah, that was impressive.
Because like the whole because I mean I did watch a little bit of the anime to start with, so I knew that he was gonna die. So that wasn't like a surprise. Was that a surprise to y'all?
Yes.
Huge surprise. I had no idea.
It's been so long since we read that. I don't think I was like emotional about it. I think I was more like, already? Like, also, but like, they like.
Aren't you a main character?
Killed him off. There wasn't any like, maybe he's still alive. Like, let's let him suffer for a full chapter.
Man, I had like a theory when he like left for the capital. And I was thinking that, like, okay, he's going to get really big, and then Shin's going to have to do this whole catch-up, and it's all going to be about that.
Yes!
And then, like 2 chapters later, it completely flips on its head.
Yes! I was like, okay, cool, so he's going to get this huge head start. There's going to be a war at some point, and he's going to end up being, like, Shin's captain or general or whatever. And then he comes crawling back, literally. And you're just like, huh.
See, that was my unfair advantage because I definitely knew what happened in the first arc. So so it wasn't like his big surprise, but I did really like the whole I felt like the battles feel more intense reading the manga than it did watching it in the anime because of how bad that animation style was. So like watching him kill the assassins was super cool.
Yes. So I never got that far in the show. I enjoy the battles they do. I feel like at some points it stretches on, and at some points it's so fast.
Yeah.
Which would make sense like a real battle.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like the dialogue they're doing that stretches it out, and then all of a sudden it's just like dead. And you're like, oh, I was wanting like for the first arc, the build up to it was a huge long battle. But then, like, it just felt like it ended abruptly. Like, it just, like, quickly ended. And I just wanted more because I hated that little boy.
Oh yeah, the brother.
I don't even know his name. Yeah.
AC? Was that his name? I can't
They-
honestly remember. No, that's the good guy. That's the good king. Never mind. I don't know.
Oh,
S-
Issei is
Issei.
is.
I always called him Sai. SEI, Sai.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's Issei.
don't know.
I don't think
I don't
it's
know
gonna
how
matter
to
as long as
pronounce
you
it,
know who you're
so.
talking about, like,
Yeah.
or while you're reading it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The author's really good at drawing blood spurting out of the wound though, because it always looked very visceral. And I was like, wow, okay.
Like every time someone hits, it's always across the stomach and blood, and everyone else dies from it. But our guy, he's just like, whatever. Shin's like, it's fine, it's fine.
Or every chop of the sword is like decapitating somebody.
Yeah. It's
I
just,
think a very interesting character though is what's the little girl's name? Diao. The
10.
in the
Yeah, it's 10 now,
10.
but they've changed it.
Yeah.
They changed it?
10.
See, mine.
Yeah, they changed it
So
back.
you said they changed the names again. It never changed it. So mine actually went from incorrect to correct and stayed there. So mine never changed back.
Oh, lucky you.
So
That I
think
noticed.
it turned out. So what I saw is that they're both the Japanese spellings and the Chinese spellings, because it's
Okay.
based out of China.
Mhm.
And so I
Oh.
have no idea which one I'm reading right now. The one I have for the little girl is 10.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I also saw Diao too.
See,
I
in
think
mine it's
Diao
always
is
been
what
Diao.
it started out as. Now that you mention it. Let me pull
But
up
I know
mine.
you're talking about though.
The little
Yeah.
chicken girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the little blow dart thing, which
Mm-hmm.
my chapter ended early on that one. So there's like the general's like, let me see that, and then the ends on mine. So I'm like,
Oh no.
and that was 60. So I go, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then
Oh,
Justice is like,
no.
oh, it's on there. I'm like, no, it's not. So he sent me a screenshot of his last page. I go, oh, that was boring.
When they go to the mountain people, that's when
Yeah.
they start going up the
Yeah, it was such a boring climactic reveal. I was so excited for something, and it was just like, I don't think it was anything. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think they've talked about it in the last page.
I love how they made the king of the mountain people be a badass warrior queen.
They're all
It was
women.
so cool.
All of them
Yeah.
are women. That's their big twist for everything. It's a woman. 10 woman. Queen woman.
And I mean, hey, I appreciate some badass female characters.
100%.
But I'm like, all right.
And let's
Come
be real. In like anime and manga, there isn't a lot of badass female characters.
There's not. There's really not. I'm just waiting for, like, they're going to reveal that, like, SA, or however y'all call him, Sai for me, the king, is going to be a woman at some point. I was waiting for that one.
Well, then, I guess this is
The
part
art style makes it, like, is very feminine.
Yeah.
But it could just be a dude who's just very feminine, but it has very feminine, like, art to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
in comparison, everything is to
right,
Shin.
but he's only supposed to be like 14 or something, right? So
Is he?
I think he's like 15.
Oh, is he?
Okay.
I was thinking he was younger. The king.
Oh yeah, I think he's a teenager still.
He's a teenager, but I don't think he's 15 yet. Are they?
I think he's 15.
I
I
have
think
no
he
idea.
was
I don't even want to
up
Google it to
now,
look up for
maybe.
us because like it's gonna pull up where it is now.
oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I want y'all to know. My app updates weekly. It releases a chapter every once in a while. So like the other day, since we've started this, like 5 more chapters have come out.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, because it's an ongoing
Yeah,
manga.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
we're up to 633.
So
Yep.
we're only like, a little like almost 600 chapters behind. It's fine.
We'll get
We're
there.
less than 600. We're in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, we're making progress right now.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
And
Yeah.
another thing I do and don't like about it is the hard ends to an arc. It just ends. So it's like, okay, cool, but like you have no idea what's going to happen next because there's nothing to happen. Like this last one ended with them walking in there, so I'm assuming they're going to get a better shack
Oh, right after the war.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're gonna
Yeah.
get a better shack because after the first arc they got the shack. Second arc they're gonna get a big shack.
Oh.
I'm actually trying to remember because it's been a long time since I watched that anime. And I don't think I watched that far to the end of the second arc.
Well, we're not talking about the anime.
Yeah, but even though the fight to like reclaim the castle to get back from the evil little shithead brother,
Yeah,
like that dude,
he deserves no name.
yeah, but it didn't say what happened to him either. Like
They didn't kill him.
no,
They didn't? I thought I
No.
remember him getting beheaded.
No, they didn't. He
They
just
didn't
beat
kill
him up
him.
real bad.
Yeah, like he just overthrew him, so I'm sure he's like locked up somewhere. I'm sure he'll come back at some point.
Interesting.
But
Oh,
his
probably.
monster dude, excuse me?
that was kind of sad.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
he-
like, what was it? A giant, right?
I,
Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, he was
guess.
tortured and stuff by the guy
Hmm.
for obedience, so I don't know.
No, I thought that that whole like even basically every badass dude's fighting ability, like the dude who was the head of the mountain people or whatever.
Not
like
the head of his tribe, the dude who had the two swords.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
his backstory
Oh,
where he
yeah.
just ate people for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
That was
Like,
cool.
Nonchalant. He just, yeah, we found him eating corpses, and y'all said, "Hey, come join us."
Hey, what's up, man?
Ooh, we'll give you some real food. You come join us. Can I eat you? No.
Well, and then he's even like, oh yeah, I have to go back to my old self to be able to beat this guy. And it's like after seeing that backstory, it's like, you knew what? Like,
Yeah, I go. I was like, he's gonna eat everybody in the room after that. There's a lot of dead bodies everywhere.
I'm a little sad that the mountain people weren't in the war at all. Like I feel like I wish they could have incorporated have like a unit or something.
I understand why. It'd be so cool if they did, but they're not part of Quinn yet, or whatever we're calling the country.
I think it's pronounced kin, like with a K.
Probably.
I thought it was like Chin.
Oh, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it could be
mean,
Quinn.
I
Because
don't
I think
know.
Quinn Dynasty was a thing. There's also Shin Dynasty though.
Because I know the X makes a shin, like a sh sound.
Yes.
So, yeah. But I think we're saving the mountain people for like a later arc.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
She'll show up again.
Oh yeah, and especially with how advanced the mountain people were, in which I thought they put like a really good emphasis on the way like the arrogance of the people of like the nobility, because they're like, oh, those are just like mountain, like they're peasants, they're barbarians, and then you get there and they have this super advanced mountain cities and stuff, and I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Have we found out what tribe Ten's from yet?
Yes,
We did? I couldn't remember.
They did say that.
We know
yeah.
she's a mountain, but we don't know from where though.
I think they just said that her tribe was wiped out.
I thought I remembered that too.
Yeah, they said.
I think I feel like I remember they told her, and she was like, "But I haven't been with them. I don't feel like I'm part of that people anymore."
Yeah. Well, but see, I remember she being a mountain person, but not like any of these. But I also the fact that they were wiped out rings a bell too. And she had like lived on her own probably with the thieves.
Yeah, which is a terrifying existence, and you can see why she would wear that big like bird outfit to not be shown to be a girl. Could you imagine being a like young girl in a town like that she grew up in?
Ugh.
Like that would be horrible.
It'd be awful.
I think it would just be horrible. Yeah, but like that place is just horrible in general. No child should be around there. But she made a living doing something. Like,
do you not remember how it said how she made the living?
I don't remember.
She would sell out travelers to be like murdered and raped and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That was like one of the last little things that we got from her.
That was like, I didn't remember that at all when I watched the anime. So when I read that chapter, I was like, oh shit. Like,
but I don't think, was that a chapter or was it an after story?
I think it was like a little expert.
Yeah. I think it was an after. Because she had all of hers were afters. Because she was talking to that old lady too.
That was when she was talking to the old lady. That
Okay.
was
That's
yeah,
right. That's
whenever
right.
yeah, whenever Shin was off at war. Which
Mhm.
honestly, I laughed so hard whenever she's sitting there talking to the old lady, and the
Who
old
the hell
lady is
are
like,
you?
whenever she was talking about like Shin going out, and she was like, "Oh, my husband went off to war once and never came back, but I
Oh.
made him a living with my breasts," and she just has
And they
these
just like
saggy
fell out.
tits.
Also, can we address that Shin does still not realize it's a girl?
Like, and they've lived together for months now. Like, I think it's a 3-month time skip between
Because
arcs.
whoever it was, the general was like, "Oh, and yeah, he's fine." Yes, he is. Mm-hmm.
B, I think, what is it? Brother B is what he calls him, or Brother Bi, or whatever. It's Bi.
Originally he did, but now he's a
Yeah.
general, so he got a full name now. He goes by, he gets a real name.
I
No,
love
he's
when they
talking
have
about
him.
the two brothers that were in his go.
Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about
Hecky,
yes,
Hecky bro.
Yeah,
Heck
that
you,
one.
bro.
Yes, he's so cool.
the general of
He's
1,000
awesome.
men.
Yeah. Like, whenever he walks out and they're like, "Oh, the 1,000-man general's coming." The last time one of these came through and someone stepped out of line, they killed him, and
And
he
he's
just
like,
walks out in
"What's
front.
up?"
I could definitely feel the intensity from the chariot fights, though. Like when
Oh
the
my
chariots were
gosh,
just
yeah.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
and which I didn't expect that from a manga. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to get that intensity and that like fear that they would have just seeing a wall of just dirt and
They do. He does the artist or author, whatever you want to call him, does so well at getting you feel that though.
Mhm. Yes, I would 100% agree.
Even with like the two general battle, like the
Yeah, that was
strategic
cool.
versus
That was awesome.
strategic versus what was it?
Instinct.
Instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool.
hmm
That whole thing.
I like the dude, I can't remember what his name is, the general that just comes in and tries to fuck shit up.
Oh, the one with the lipstick.
Uki.
Yes.
I love him.
Uki, I think his name is. He
Yes.
might be my favorite character. I'm
Yes.
not gonna be honest. I really want to know more about him.
For
He's
sure.
a badass.
For sure. But
'Cause
a
every time
badass
he
is an
Entering a battle,
understatement
I'm
for
just
him.
standing on this hill.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted. Hey, let's go on top of that hill. Okay.
Yeah, and I like how everybody, when he's around, they're like, "Oh shit, he's here. We need to," everybody kind of falls in line, kind of. Yeah.
But I thought we met him. Like I thought Shin met him at the castle. Did he not?
I did
He did.
too.
No,
But
he did.
But he didn't remember him. Because whenever he
He
met
did.
him, he's
Yeah.
like, "Who are you?" And he's just like, "I'm a general." Oh, okay, whatever. I'll fight you.
Maybe he didn't meet him at the castle then, because I
He met
thought the
his-
same thing.
Oh,
He met his
maybe
number
not.
2.
He was definitely in.
He met his number 2 and fought
chapter.
him. But
Okay,
I
maybe that's it.
swear he met him out in the courtyard. Because he was there decapitating bitches.
Because I know his number 2 came into the
Went inside.
went to the throne room and took out all the noble guys that were trying to get away.
But
And
but we didn't fight him, did we? Or did we fight the person that was guarding it? He never met
No,
either one of them.
no,
Yeah, I don't think he fought him.
Yeah, so he actually never he should have met him, but he never met either one of them actually, it turned out. Weird. Well, now he has, and he got a horse
Yep.
from him.
Yep.
He was, "Can I have
Really
a
good
horse?"
I think
and
my
that guy
favorite-
like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say like he kind of like, but he said he had heard of Shin, right? Whenever he met him on the battlefield, he's like, "Oh, so you're the one that people are talking about, right?"
Yeah,
He's
the
heard the rumor
Shou-
of someone. He didn't know
Okay.
it
Heard
was
about it
Shin.
from what's his name? Shobun-kun? Shobun-kun?
Oh yeah, that
I don't know how to say it. He was like the guy who looked over the king.
Oh,
Okay.
the old man. That he was
think-
trying to behead,
I
and now they're
think
best
he
friends
told
again. And also,
I
they
think he
trained
told
together.
Uki about it.
Like they trained
Mhm.
together growing up with the old master.
Like the old king.
Yeah, no, not the old king. Remember how when he was talking to the current our king, how he was saying he had never found somebody who, like, he could tell if you're lying by your eyes, and then it flashed back to his old king about keep flying, keep soaring, or something.
Yeah.
It
The
was the
demon
two,
bird of.
those two guys. It was the lipstick and old man with the beard that were like trained together.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
that's
then he went to go off and cut off his head and burn it.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly. You were saying something though.
I think that king is Sai, whatever his name is. I think it's his grandfather.
Yes.
If I remember right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a king.
Yeah. No, that was
I think
he.
so.
Yeah, he was the war god or whatever. I don't remember exactly how they referred to him, but he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, his goal was to try to unite all of China, and he couldn't do it in his lifetime. So that's why it's such a big deal that Issei wants to do it. Yeah.
And I forgot. I remembered that part. I forgot that part. I remember the scene.
Mm-hmm. I think that dude's nickname though, the Demon Bird of Chin or Kin or whatever, is pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty dope fucking nickname.
We're not gonna learn much about him. I don't think, not for a while.
I hope we do.
I think he's gonna be one of those characters that just shows up and you get a peek, and you get a peek, and you get a peek, because like he is such a cool character.
Yeah. I did like that, like whenever they're forming the little battle groups, like for the war, that they get grouped with like the two homeboys from his village are just like, oh yeah, we're not gonna go with you, and then they get dumped for someone bigger, and they're like, we're back. What's up?
Like that's the leftover gang.
With the little sword kid.
Sword girl is what we're assuming. She's gonna be a girl.
Oh, because everyone who's a badass is a girl, right?
No, but I think so.
She looks like a girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She does. Yeah, like a little kid, but I think she's gonna be a prodigy also. Like obviously she's a badass.
Well, there was that one scene
she
where
did a whole flip around and just like sawed through everyone.
And then I'm gonna go take a break. Y'all got this.
Yeah, she's like, I'm tired now.
Yeah, no, I'm very intrigued on and I'm very curious because like we get the map and all the other kingdoms around him, which one he goes after first, because because this okay, let me backtrack a little bit. I wanted to ask this a second ago. Would you consider this like a battle shonen, or would this be like a political thriller or a war? Like what genre would you group this in? Because it gives off vibes of a lot of different things, but I think this is more of like a political thriller because there's more political aspects that go on.
I wasn't thinking political at all. I was thinking, I guess, battle shonen are the ones you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gotten kind of different vibes, like at the political, that first arc seems more political and things like that. Yeah. And the second one's super war and battle strategy focused. And so I don't know if I'm just not sure. It feels like this manga is still figuring out exactly the genre it is to me, and so.
But it still is early on.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I don't know if I can say yet because it feels battle focused, but I can't say like political thriller or anything like that.
According to the app I read it on, it is an action historical military seinen. SEINEN.
Yeah, like Berserk.
Yeah, that's for like adult audiences.
Yeah, okay. Then yeah. So I mean, basically, it is what we said.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's going to be very heavily military because I really don't see us getting a whole lot of just like lays around chapters. Maybe to pop in on the king because he's obviously not in the war, but I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of without battle. Maybe preparation and training and stuff, but I mean, like we said, we're only 70 chapters in.
Do we know how historically accurate it is? I'm really curious.
No idea.
I have no idea.
Because I'm wondering if like some of the people are actually real people and stuff. I mean, I'm sure that obviously there's no way that this little kid is destroying everybody on the battlefield.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
In real life.
True.
But and that's like manga stuff right there. But it'd be really interesting to see if like I wouldn't be surprised that the dynasty that forms by the end of this manga is like a real thing.
that was what they took like inspiration from.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So, I googled how accurate is Kingdom manga. Yes, most and maybe even all of the events in Kingdom are based on historical events during the Warring States period of ancient China, 475 to 221 BCE. As for accurateness, of course, there are some exaggerations, and more specifically due to it being a manga/anime. So, the battle ideas are accurate. That's cool.
That's very
That
cool.
makes it. That adds a whole new level to it.
Yeah, like you're going from okay, it's actually a history.
That's really cool.
Okay,
Uh,
so have any of you played Dynasty Warriors?
no.
Yes.
No.
Scott, I know you have because you and I have played it back in Abilene. Did we play it often? I can't remember.
We played it a couple times,
Do you
but not
remember a
enough
lot
to
of
really
it?
get it. I remember I know how the game works, and I remember some of the characters a little bit. But
So
that's
I've
about it.
honestly I'll be reading it and like every once in a while something will pop in my head of the game. Like, hey, that's kind of like this character. Because like it's still warring China and you're battling these different families, different areas, but like obviously I've not seen a single name that matches. But what makes me the one that I think I've sensed the most crossover from the character is with Guan Yu, which is like he has a staff thing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Lipstick,
Mhm.
but also Lipstick reminds me of Liu Bei or Lu Bu, whatever his name was. He was like had a horse and all of that stuff and like use it too, but he was like a badass fighter. Like you saw him on the battlefield and you did not want to see him. Like one of
I
the
don't
missions where actually you run into him and it's like escape him. Like that was a mission, like escape.
I don't know for sure, but I know. I think Guan Yu is either a Chinese god or like a infamous general of
He's an
China or
infamous
something.
general. He's a
General,
real
okay.
person, but he's also in Smite, yes.
Yeah, that's how I was like, wait a second.
As soon as
But
you said God, I was like, Smite.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
he's
was like, I definitely know that name, but
yeah,
sometimes they don't do legends, so.
yeah. So I've kind of sensed it, and it's made me want to play the games again. But like they're like $1 bajillion. I don't feel like buying them.
Yeah.
I never played. It's like a hack and slash, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
Mhm.
fun, but yeah,
That's one thing though that like I know this is back to Kingdom that this is like I feel like in the war scenes or whatever,
Mhm.
like it's not just like even though it is like oh yeah, shouldn't just fucking own 4 guys, 5 guys or whatever. It's still like their portion of the battle is so small
Mhm.
compared to like everything else in relation to it. And so it's really interesting to see. It's like, oh yeah, they only have 100 guys left up against these 4,000. They need to get the high ground, or at least that's the way like the way I was taken is like how
Yeah.
important their aspect of the battle was versus there's still all this other shit that's going on around them, you know. And I feel like a lot of like anime in particular, like I'll use like something like Naruto because I guess that has like a war aspect to it. During like the final arc of like Naruto, it's just devolved into like oh this big war is happening, but the main thing we need to focus on Naruto because there's so much other stuff going on in the battle though at the same
True.
time, you know.
Yeah.
Like that general charging in had nothing to do with Shin, you know, and his fight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, same thing if you look at Bleach, because you follow just like the main characters who we know,
Mhm.
and you know there's 1 billion people fighting throughout anyway, but you're only following these few.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I thought it was really interesting the way that they like were able to show other stuff going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool, definitely cool to like you were talking about the general fight. Definitely cool to see like the honor between the two general fight to where nobody like interrupted it.
I
And
mean,
when
I
the
would be terrified to interrupt that fight.
mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And when the one guy tried to or said like, "Sir, just let us
Ka-cha!
attack him," yeah, just fucking
Yeah,
sliced him in half.
I also like the fact like you know the main character is not gonna die because like
Mhm.
I mean it could be a Game of Thrones thing. We just kill him off at some point. I don't see
Yeah.
it happening, but you still actually have that bit of fear every time he actually goes into something crazy battle
Mhm.
versus like which I think you feel that feeling in a lot of things, but you have to remind yourself to get out. Like, oh, he's gonna survive this, but you have to you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, there's 1,000 chariots coming at him. I cannot think of an idea to get out of this.
I really liked when they were sitting there in the right after they beat the first chariot unit, so the very the straggler of all the chariots, and they're like, yeah, and then they're like, wait, they're turning back around, and just that defeat that they all had.
Yo, so that was the end of the discussion. We had some technical difficulties. I recorded it and it was a little bit different, just the format. And then I realized that I didn't have my mic set up to be, or I didn't have it set up to record my audio. So everybody else was talking, and then you see me. Stuff like that. It was bad. And so that was off Prince Lightning's Twitch channel. That was his stream. So he's gonna be streaming these when we do them. His information is down below. He's actually monetized now, which he and I did a video discussion a year ago where I interviewed him. And now it's really cool to see that he's broken through that threshold through where he can get his own subscription, stuff like that on Twitch. Noodle Legs' stuff is down below. He does some really cool, fun gaming streams. So if you want to hang out, he did a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game the other day. It was dope. So yeah, check them out. I'm gonna post a video when we're doing our next one. So if you want to hop in the live stream, that'd be great. We're gonna do the next 2 arcs. So I think it's another 30, 40 chapters. We're gonna do them here in a few weeks. So keep a lookout for those videos. And this is my last time filming right here. So you guys have a great day, great weekend whenever you watch this. And so it's going to be it for me. This is just Keegan signing out. Later.